Hello guys, welcome to today's lesson. My name is Srinidhi. I've been working with Unacademy for a few months now. I teach English grammar on this platform. You guys can follow me on Unacademy by downloading the Unacademy Learning app on your phone, and please do check out the YouTube channel as well. So in today's particular lesson, we're going to continue doing the character analysis of a few more characters from Pride and Prejudice. So I hope this video helps you guys. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, so we are in the fourth lesson of character analysis. First lesson was about the protagonist, or Elizabeth Bennet, and then we moved on with Darcy, Mr. Darcy and Mrs. Bennet, and in the previous lesson we did the character analysis of Jane Bennet and Charles Bingley. So in this particular lesson we're going to do about three people: George Wickham, Collins and Miss Bingley. So let's get started. So George Wickham is the handsome, fortune-hunting young soldier. So this is how he will be described, because this young soldier is very keen on obtaining fortune from people. So just like the times when he tried to elope with Darcy's sister. Darcy being a wealthy man, he tried to elope with his sister, so in return he can get some money out of Darcy. So that one did not happen. So, and then he tries to befriend Elizabeth. So he actually gets closer to Elizabeth, and Elizabeth thinks whatever Wickham says is true about Darcy, and he accuses Darcy for cheating Wickham and inheriting his property illegally. But in the letter that Mr. Darcy writes to Elizabeth, he reveals the true nature of Wickham. He says Wickham is a liar. The real reason for the conflict between the two of them was that he tried to elope with his younger sister. So when she actually realizes what Darcy said was true, what kind of a man Wickham is, she distances herself from him, and she acts coldly towards him, and that makes her even more closer to Darcy. But Wickham's attention moves towards the younger sister of the Bennets, that is Lydia. Lydia being the naive and very a person who's not able to think properly. She falls for his trap and she elopes with him. So you can call Wickham as a person who is not a gentleman, because he elopes with a girl even when he knows that the respect of the family will be put at stake. But even after eloping with her, even after leading her on, he says he will marry her only when they pay him an annual income, like a dowry that we call in India. So that was really rude and greedy nature of Wickham. So again, he's one of the shady characters that Jane Austen uses in her story Pride and Prejudice. So him being the soldier, so he wants to climb the social status by marrying wealthy girls. So that's the entire character analysis of George Wickham. So again, he agrees to marry Lydia for some money. He does not agree to marry her because he loves her, because he decided to elope with her. His whole plan of eloping is to get money in return, because the family will have to pay her money, because they will not put their family respect at stake. So that was well thought and well planned. So now let's move on to Mr. Collins. So as I've been telling you all, Mr. Collins is a pompous, foolish clergyman. So he is supposed to inherit Bennet's property. So Bennet's property is entailed. That means since he does not have any male kids or a heir for his property, any other heir or a male member of his own family will inherit it, but not his daughters. So that was the rule back then. So since Collins is Mr. Bennet's cousin, he is supposed to inherit whatever Bennet has. So but what he does is, his social status is not that high for him to brag about, but yet he brags about telling how he works for Lady Catherine and other details about it. But none of the Bennets were interested when he comes over for dinner and talks about his personal life. This even makes him angry, because they're least interested, but yet he continues to brag the night away. and then he mocks people at every chance he gets. So like when Lydia eloped with Wickham, just like word spreads like fire. Even back then it spread like fire. So somehow Mr. Collins got to know that Lydia eloped with Wickham, and he writes a letter, not not for support for the Bennet family, but he writes a letter mocking their upbringing, mocking Mrs. Bennet's upbringing, and how ill-mannered her kids are. So when someone is already in pain, he tries to intensify it just to feed his own ego. Just because Elizabeth, refused his proposal, he sort of had a vendetta against the Bennets, and writing a letter to them in such a dire situation actually helped him boost his ego. So again, a very nasty character. So he's a very proud man and an egoist. So his ego always got hurt when someone refused. So being a man, he could never take no for an answer. So when Elizabeth said no, it hurt him. And now we're moving on to a snobbish woman, Miss Bingley. So she is the sister of Mr. Charles Bingley. So she is a very snobbish woman. See, when we say snobbish, she's she's snobbish in every possible way. So she looks down upon people of lowest social status. So that's exactly why she does not like Jane mingling with her brother Charles Bingley. So she tries to put them down at every possible situation. So even when she meets her in London, she behaves rudely so that Jane will give up on her brother. But Jane, being persistent, and she had belief in her love, she waited, and at the end she marries her brother Mr. Bingley. So even when she finds that Mr. Darcy is interested in Elizabeth Bennet, she is confused as to what social status does this woman have in order to compete with her. So she tries to warn Elizabeth several times, and she does not think Elizabeth is a suitable match for Mr. Darcy because of the differences in their social statuses. And she also tries to get Darcy to pay attention to her, but only drives her towards Elizabeth. So she tries talking, she thinks she's talking smartly, but at last the one who is talking smart is Elizabeth. So she tries, she's very she seeks a lot of attention because she's interested in Darcy, but Darcy does not pay her any attention because all his interests are fixed on Elizabeth Bennet. She's a very envious, arrogant, and a pretentious woman. So envious if she is very jealous of Elizabeth because everybody's attention goes on Elizabeth because of her smart, witty mouth. So she comes off very arrogant when she does not get the attention that she deserves, which she doesn't deserve at all. So she gets very pretentious. So what she does is when Elizabeth reads a book, she pretends to read the book as well. At last, she does not like the book one bit, but she sarcastically says that she would pay anything to have a library built in her house, just to get the attention of Mr. Darcy, which unfortunately she does not get. So these are the three people. They also play a very crucial role in Pride and Prejudice. If you see, each and every character has their own role that helped Jane Austen to lead the story in a way that it is today. So every character put together has made the story very beautiful. So they're unique and they are very different in their own way. So that's it about the character analysis for today's characters. I will see you guys in the next lesson with another set of characters. Bye bye.